Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. Just another one quickly. It's still the 9th of March 2018. Just wanted to give a quick update. So I found out about the incident at South Croydon train station. The only place I could actually find it is Croydon Advertiser. No one else seems to be talking about it. And they don't seem to pinpoint it at South Croydon, except they mention that social media mention an instant videos at the South Croydon train station, which is probably me they're talking about because I emailed them the pictures, not that they use them. But it's interesting how one person can become social media, assuming, I don't know, maybe other people got back to them. Anyway, so, and they said they contacted the British Transport Police and they haven't had a response yet. I mean, that's because it was on Saturday and now it's Monday. So that's over 24 hours. That's almost, it's coming up to 48 hours. It's interesting how, I mean, if it had been the BBC that had contacted them, I'm sure they would have replied by now. But they obviously don't feel the need to tell anyone what happened or what went on. It's believed that someone was injured, but I never saw anyone injured. I saw obviously ambulances and police and ambulance, and I saw people, you know, yellow uniform, like train people at the front of a stopped train with equipment. So I don't know what they were going to do with that. So maybe there was someone under there. I don't know what they do in these incidents. But yeah, it's interesting that when you are involved in these things, it's interesting, like when you go to these terrorist things, you see loads of people filming, but I didn't see anyone filming this event other than myself, and I was too scared to film too much. But it's interesting whenever you get these terrorist events, I mean, a lot of people do say they are staged. You get people like, what was it they call it, the walk or whatever, where someone will actually walk past every single thing and do so you can see everything. But I guess when it's something like that, then everyone feels that, because everyone's seen everyone film terrorist events, that it's okay to whip out your mobile and start filming the carnage that's taking place, if it is taking place. So that's that updated. And I did manage to find somewhere the CCG, I think, was it Powell's feedback thing about the ambulance. So I've mentioned there that I think it's unacceptable that the 2 hours wait for an ambulance. I mean, the whole point of an ambulance is they're meant to be coming, and the government sets a time, so why do they feel that they can, the time that they're meant to be there is 8 minutes, I believe. So for them to be saying 2 hours, I mean, that is too far off. That needs immediate action. You can't be telling people that, surely. I mean, that seems... Anyway, so the main reason why I wanted to talk was about Shortlist, which is a magazine, and one of the people that I first listened to, not the very first, but one that got me engaged in the idea of flat Earth was Jamie Brown, because he does live Google Hangouts on YouTube, and so he was interviewed by Joe Madden of Shortlist. And this is just another example, because I've been mentioning previously how the media represents things, and so their heading for this article is, "Why are so many of us falling for insidious conspiracy theories?" And this is on I think it's shortlist.com under news, and it's that's the title of the piece. I don't know how long it's going to be there, but it says it's 3 days old. And so it begins, I'll talk about the beginning now. "Just before Christmas I did my first ever fast. Guess how many days I managed to go without solids?" This is the person he's talking to, and he said no idea. 32 he beams. "The urine stops the hunger and gives you loads of energy. See, light comes from our front and dark from round the back, because everyone's a mixture of light and dark, aren't they?" Yeah, that's in speech. So that's how they started the article. I mean, can you imagine? You know that there are people, I mean, I've done Vox Pops when I was in college, and you know, and I'm sure even anyone who works in journalism, anyone who works in like TV media, you know that there's loads of different types of people out there, and you will get people who are, I don't want to use the word crazy because that's the wrong word, but that's the word that springs to mind, that will say more things that, you know, that normal journalists would think, no, I'm not going to put that out there because that creates a false image. You know, like if you ask someone about, oh, what do you think about Brexit? And someone came up and like, oh, fucking Brexit, I don't agree with that. You know, that kind of, you know, especially if it had swearing in it. There's no way they would use it. Yeah? And especially if the person, but well, it all depends on what their agenda is. If they want to suggest that, you know, people with, say, oh, that's a bit wrong for me to say this, but less intelligent, I'm just suggesting that accent portrayed that. Less intelligent, they might use that person to try and, you know, put that across. And this is exactly what they're doing here. They could have interviewed hundreds of people, but they start with this one person, so they don't give the story a fair chance. They've said that they're going to talk about something, conspiracies, but they're not going to talk about it seriously. That tells you by that very first sentence. It's setting up in your mind that if you are a person who doesn't believe in conspiracies, this is the type of people that believe in conspiracy, someone who drinks their own urine. Now, I don't drink my own urine. I don't know whether it's good for you or not. Maybe it is. There are people who do believe there are benefits to drinking your own urine. Obviously, people who are stranded and they have nothing else to drink, it is one of those things that can keep you alive. So it doesn't kill you as long as you only drink your own urine, because I believe if you drink someone else's, it can poison you. But I suppose there shouldn't be too many benefits for it, because it's meant to get rid of the stuff you don't need. But then again, the stuff you don't need from the first day, you may not have, you may be lacking in it the next day. I.e., say you ate 3 oranges and say your body only needs 1, it would remove the other 2 oranges, vitamins or whatever, because you don't need them. And then if the next day you didn't have any oranges and you drank it, well, you would get that benefit from that. So I don't know if it works like that, but what I'm saying is that maybe it is beneficial. This is the thing about our minds, because the way we're programmed to laugh at other people's ideas if it doesn't fit the norm, you know. And you know, you could think, oh, funny, you know, this crazy person, but maybe he does have. Why can't we have more open minds without being so judgmental? But the fact that I'm trying to get at is this article is using techniques to make sure that whatever is said in this article will not be taken seriously because of that beginning, which has got nothing to do with the title about us falling for insidious conspiracy theories, because drinking your own urine is not a conspiracy theory. So why is it the first sentence? It doesn't fit with the story. But they put that shows you, but it does show you how media, and this is just Shortlist, this person has decided that he's going to ridicule this. And then he goes on about Flat Earth, and he talks to, where is it he talks to? Jamie Brown. At this point, we are blessedly interrupted by Jamie Brown, organiser of this gathering and a local celebrity within the Flat Earth movement. He's just done one of his daily YouTube live streams and is ready to chat. Heading outside to escape the hubbub, Brown and I passed tables abuzz with chatter about Flat Earth, chemtrails, Freemasonry, psychedelics, and the corporate suppression of perpetual motion technology. I've got no idea what that is. At least 40 Flat Earthers have gathered here today, and while a handful of them look, as you might uncharitably expect, poorly groomed men banned from their local playground. Now you see, that's again another slur. They're poorly groomed men. So he's saying they're dishevelled, you know, because if in a film or something you want to show someone who you won't believe, he would be dressed as a tramp, he'd be dishevelled, he would be unshaven. It's one of those images that you can use to conjure up something in someone's mind, you know, because pictorially things are very, you know, what was it? A picture tells 1,000 words, and that is why that sentence is there to do, is to say that these people, they're like dirty, they're, you know, probably don't have a job, they're unintellectual, so you can't believe any of the rubbish that they're going to say to you. Now, in a normal story, that you wouldn't be describing how they appear. What does their appearance matter to their argument? You know, you wouldn't say about politicians they're finely groomed and they've got £1,000 suits on that, you know, while you're getting, you're supposed to live on £100 a week. You know, they don't do it in that way, do they? So why is it he's decided to talk about their attire? Obviously, again, to make you remember that no matter what you hear in this, no matter how you think it might be plausible, these are the types of people it's coming from. So poorly groomed men banned from their local playground. The use of the word playground to suggest that this kind of stuff is you'd expect, you know, these people to be children, and children, what do they know? The crowd is surprisingly varied. There are dads, lads, hippie nans, metalheads, gym bunnies. They're all palpable happy to found each other and discuss the stuff without being mocked or derided, except from this article, of course. We're outside, squinting in the sub-zero sun. I am keen to ask Brown about flat earth theory's most puzzling aspect. Who would be behind such a ruse, and what would they gain from it? Well, it'd be power, says Brown. The power to make us think we're on a spinning ball and that human life is the random result of some accident billions of years ago, that we are insignificant and there's no intelligent design at work. He believes in God, then. So he's putting words into his mouth. That's why I would never do. I'm going to find the next page now. I don't know it printed out. If I was ever to do a story like this, I would say that I don't mind doing it, but I want to write it because this is how they get around these things. This is how they do it. Maybe I didn't print the next page. Oh no, because then so it is right, and then it goes. David Icke claims the Earth is controlled by shape-shifting reptiles from another dimension. He sold at Wembley, so that's another thing, because everyone knows that David Icke gets laughed at and is ridiculed. So obviously they stick him in there just to so that everyone else can be tarred with the same brush. Not necessarily, I mean, this life could be a simulation, I don't know, it's beyond my comprehension. Whatever's behind all of this would have limitless powers and a mind far beyond anything we could understand. I'm still none the wiser, this is the journalist now. Brown seems unwilling to be pinned down on specifics, or even to fully commit to flat earth theory. What's wrong with that? Because he says, in brackets, we might be wrong. Oh my goodness, call the police. Everyone in the world stop, because someone has the audacity to not know. I mean, that should be applauded, that someone is willing to say that I have this theory, but I'm not 100% on it, because, I mean, that's the truth of the matter. That's really how we all should be. That we shouldn't be just, yes, I believe 100%, because you don't know 100%. No one can know 100%, because even scientists, even the greatest minds, as we call them, their theories get rubbished and changed and altered and updated. That's happened from way back to Einstein to Hawkins. They keep adjusting things. We change how we perceive things by our own understanding. So it is just ludicrous that he wants to attack the very fact that Jamie is saying we might be wrong. Right? It just goes to show you how disingenuous journalists are. I'm sure when they approached Jamie, they said, yeah, it's going to be this good piece, we want to write about this, and this is how it turns out. This is what journalism is. We might be wrong is a problem. He is clearly suspicious of me, which is to be expected given conspiracy's hardwired mistrust of MSM, mainstream media. We circle around a little more, me confused, him guarded. Our chilly conversation finally warms up when I tell him I've been shocked by some of the abuse I've seen receive online. All that hostility, that vitriol, only spurs me on, because if what these people believe is so self-evidently true, why do they need to defend it so desperately? Why all the anger? And then it goes on to other things, and I think it eventually goes on to, it mentions X-Files for some weird reason, I suppose because that's when they believe that conspiracy started. They don't remember JFK and the moon landing. And they also mention, of course, anti-Semitic stuff. There's one bit where it says, I've spoken to a few flat earthers, all were Holocaust deniers. So that's trying to make out that all flat earthers are somehow anti-Semitic. I mean, the thing is that I just don't understand why it's such a problem for everyone, especially the media and the government and journalists and celebrities and whoever, that people want to question things. Isn't that the way we should be? Why should it be that it's a problem to question something? If I think that, wait a minute, let's look at the Holocaust. Let's look at, when we're looking at things now, we know that things are altered, things are made up. We know that throughout history things have been rewritten and updated and changed. We know all those things have happened. We know that the victor always writes the thing. We know that people do things for other reasons. You could look at, say, the Holocaust. Yeah, you could see the evidence. You could judge it and to think, well, wait a minute, is it possible that it was exaggerated or that it was made up so that Israel could then take back Palestine? I mean, why they would do that, I don't know. But the thing is like, just to question it is a problem. I don't understand. I mean, I know that people will say, well, you've got to be about the sensibilities of the people involved. Yes, I agree. But if you are trying to search for truth, I don't think it's a problem that you say, well, wait a minute, I don't understand, this doesn't make sense, or wait a minute, did it actually happen like this, or did it happen like this? We know people of the past, and we know people of the present. They all people lie, and people lie for agendas. Now, I'm not saying that the Holocaust didn't take place. For as much as I understand, I haven't really researched it too much. Obviously, most of my information comes from when I was at school. I've seen videos, I've seen pictures that show people that were starving, that were mistreated. I've seen Auschwitz on TV. I've never been there myself. I know people who have. Obviously, I know about Anne Frank's diary, and I know about, obviously the stuff I've been taught about the Second World War. So as far as I understand, but obviously this is based on other people telling me so, it happened. But if someone wants to make claims that there's evidence that seems to suggest that, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, I don't see it as, is it a problem that people question things? I don't know. Maybe some things they shouldn't be questioned, I don't know. But the problem, I guess, is for people who believe that they've been lied to. And we all know, I'm showing you this story now, where you can see how it's been put in a certain way to make you disbelieve in what's being said. So that's a lie, isn't it? And you know from the Iraq War and Afghanistan War, the weapons of mass destruction, there's loads of things. If you look through history about different assassinations, where it comes to Martin Luther King, where it comes to whoever, JFK, the moon landing photos, the crosshairs on the wrong side, the shadows with multiple shadows, cameras being ready for Neil Armstrong's footsteps, a camera panning up to see the shuttle, whatever we would call the landing, what they came in, go back up. To do that in real time, in that kind of technology, you must have been a great photographer to remote control that, to get that camera pan up. There's lots of questions, there's lots of things that don't make sense. And if we tell people, no, believe everything I say, and if you don't, you're a heretic, I'll set fire to you, I will set fire to you, not in the literal sense, but I'll set fire to you by making out that you are a terrible person. Well, then obviously we're all going to believe whatever we're told, and we will never think for ourselves, and we will go on believing lies. But then I guess that's good for certain people. Anyway, so that's all I really wanted to talk about on the Shortlist article, which you can find online, and you can see Jamie's comments about it on his YouTube channel, Jamie Brown. The last few days he's been talking about it. so you can see it from the horse's mouth, as it were. The last thing I just wanted to finish on was the recent German incident which happened, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the 7th or the 8th of April 2018. And it's interesting now how I've noticed this recently, that a lot of these things now don't get on the news anymore. I don't really know why. Is this because they think that we don't want to know about it anymore, or is it because they're worried about showing too much of it, just in case we keep seeing mistakes or the same people, or Ollie Damagard gets to see all this stuff? I don't know. Or is it because this one turned out not to be a terrorist? Well, currently they're saying it's not a terrorist. They can't find any links. So it is interesting when it comes to ones that they know are terrorists. They seem to be live on television, but when it's not a terrorist, when it's just an ordinary person, especially like the American shootings or whatever, it doesn't seem to be on so much. But it does seem that these recent ones in Europe, certainly this year and the end of last year, they don't seem to catch the media's interest anymore. Whereas before, they used to put them on for 24 hours. They would be just talking about it and discussing it and showing the same footage over and over and over again. Now it's like it's old news. So I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, that's it for now. Take care, take it easy. God bless and peace.